These are the 14 most extreme body modifications. Number 14. Teeth piercings. Surely most of us have heard of and even seen others with the smiley piercing that lies in the gums right above your two front teeth. Gum piercings are one thing, but teeth piercings are a whole different story. Yes, apparently it's a thing to have your teeth drilled into and have a ring or stud put in its place. This piercing though will not heal up on its own if you decide to get it removed later, of course. Moving on to number 13. Corset piercings. Corsets were and still are popular, whether you wear one to make your waist thinner and your hips more curvaceous, or wear garments that have those fake but decorative corset designs on the back of them. Just the look of corsets are admired by a lot of people. Some people though go as far as to get corset piercings. This type of body modification is characterized by several, not just one, piercings along the spine, and is then strung through with lace, much like an actual corset. You can definitely say ouch to that. Number 12. Neck rings. In various cultures and tribes, having a long, skinny neck symbolizes both beauty and prestige. These cultures don't mess around. Many of them will wear these heavy brass coil-like rings to train their neck to stretch out into their desired length. Anything for beauty, right? These neck rings may be difficult to wear, especially because it forces your head to tilt back in an uncomfortable manner. But for other people around the world, this body modification is their lifestyle and a tradition among their culture. Number 11. Scarification, or also known as raised tattoos. Tattoos may or may not be painful depending on your level of pain tolerance, but the ancient but now revived process of scarification may be painful for just about anyone. When you get a tattoo, you have a needle repeatedly stabbing you several times, but for a raised tattoo through the process of scarification, the process is definitely different, considering you're actually having your skin carved out to your desire. When the carved skin heals, your tattoo will be a permanent raised scar on your skin. Sounds painful, right? Number 10. Vampire teeth. Some people are born with semi-vampire-like teeth, but others are born with smaller, rounder canine teeth. Well, if you belong to the second category, perhaps you'll resort to this body modification that transforms your canine teeth into fangs. You can of course also opt for other teeth to be sharpened or lengthened if the vampire look in particular isn't your top pick. Options for this including filing your teeth to make them sharper, crowns or caps, and even getting a synthetic filling. The process itself isn't quite as daunting as the other body modifications out there, but it's not cheap, and several dentists out there may not offer this kind of special service. Number 9. Eye tattoos. Tattoos are popular, but eye tattoos? They're a newer trend. Since 2007, Luna Cobra has been tattooing her clients' eyeballs. Yes, you can get your actual eyeballs tattooed. It sounds extremely painful and dangerous to get a tattoo on your eye, but people do it. Some may tattoo a little heart on the whites of one of their teeth, but there are others out there who go all the way and have their entire whites of their eyeballs tattooed in with the color of their choice. A process that probably can't ever be reversed. Number 8. Elf ears. If you're into World of Warcraft, perhaps this body modification would appeal to you. I'm sure many of us out there have at one point wanted pointy elf-like ears, but not many of us would actually follow through with the expensive and painful surgery of having your ears transformed into elf ears. This surgery is often referred to as ear pointing and can be performed by either body modifications experts or by plastic surgeons, though body modification experts cannot legally use anesthesia on their patients. Number 7. Leg implants to increase or decrease height. If you always wanted to be a few inches taller or even shorter for whatever reason, there are leg implants out there that can change your height. It's quite a dangerous and expensive surgery and requires a long process of healing, but several people out there have already done it. The surgery requires both of your legs to be broken, forced apart, and then shaped in a way that will cause the bones to heal back together to your desired height. Number 6. Implanted magnets. This is an odd one, and most certainly isn't done for the purpose of beauty. Implanted magnets. Most people who follow through with this procedure get the magnets implanted in their fingers simply because it's entertaining to be magnetized to various magnetic objects. Not just that, some also like the fact that with this procedure they will be able to sense magnetic fields, figure out which metals are or aren't magnetic, and even pick up tiny magnetic objects. Number 5. Extreme waist training. If the corset piercings appealed to you but you want the real deal, then extreme waist training body modification may be your thing. This is a very dangerous ongoing process of slimming down your waist, but some go even further than others and aim for the unrealistically thin 16-inch waist, sometimes even thinner. Extreme waist training may be the most dangerous procedure out of all the other body modifications mentioned combined. If you know your history, you're probably aware that in the late 16th century, having a slim waist with the help of a corset was the norm for women. Fainting couches were even invented specifically for those women who pass out due to lack of oxygen from wearing these extremely tight undergarments. It's scary stuff, but it only gets worse. The tighter you wear your corset, the worse effects you have, as your organs are constantly being squeezed together and rearranged. Specific issues over time occur to the lungs and intestines when one participates in the extreme waist training. Number 4. Human body branding. We carelessly brand cattle, not even considering how painful it may be for them. But those who have gone through human branding know exactly how our fellow farm animals feel. The process of body branding varies, but the most common procedure usually consists of having a blowtorch heat up a branding iron, reaching 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and is then stamped into the skin, burning the top 2 layers of dermis and only slightly damaging the 3rd layer. Talk about painful, most would probably rather settle for a simple tattoo. Starting off our top 3 is implanted horns and other subdermal implants. It seems odd, but there are people out there who get implanted horns by a process called subdermal implants. We're not sure what's going on in the people's heads when they decide they want permanent, devil-like horns implanted into their head, but it sure looks painful and unhuman-like. So I guess if you want to look exotic in an odd way, implanted horns may be the coolest body modification in your opinion. There are of course other subdermal implants out there as well. Other popular subdermal implants are stars, hearts, and skulls that create the same raised effect under the skin as the implanted horns. Doctors are skeptical about this process considering it's a dangerous surgical procedure where you are implanted with a metal piece to give you your desired look, but it's worth it for some. Number 2. Head spikes and other transdermal implants. Similar to subdermal implants, though not completely covered by skin or transdermal implants. Most of us know the common not so drastic collarbone piercings, for example. That's also done through the transdermal process. But there are a lot of crazier implants out there. For example, some get transdermal spikes put into their head or down their spine, or even get bolt-like piercings put into various parts of their body. Yikes! Finally, on to number 1, body suspension. Perhaps the most bizarre and possibly the most pointless body modification out of all is the body suspension modification. If you like hanging, you can now hang from the hoops of your piercings, much like a suspension, but with nothing but a rope harnessed through your piercings. You can have these piercings placed on various parts of your body, but the most common place are on your back, shoulders, or even the chest. These piercings though are meant to be temporary and only done right before the actual suspension.